How's it going, guys? Welcome to Horror Show Radio. This is the first episode. It's a project I've been wanting to do for a while. It's just where we'll talk about horror movies, music, and anything like that. And yeah, I just want this to be a nice, chill place to talk about anything really. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th news, Halloween, Terrifier, and also music. I've been listening to Rob Zombie a lot and other great music. So yeah, it's just going to be a lot of fun here. uh, the name Horror Show, where I got the name for the podcast, um, is from A Clockwork Orange. It's I love that movie, and it's just one of the various slang words that the Droogs use or whatever, the friend group from out, the friend group that they have there, and I just think that wordplay is so genius. That whole language that he creates in there, and it's just a classic movie. And I don't know, that word has always just stuck with me. So I always wanted to name something about that, with that name Horror Show. So anyway, yeah, if you, but yeah, if you're new to my channel, I talk basically about the same thing that I just said, horror movies and music, and it's not that consistent. I have not been that consistent with it. Um, it's been a while since I posted anything, but here we are. You never know what will happen. So I'm just here to make something new, and it's time to return to YouTube. That's for sure. So I thought this would be a fun way. Yeah, I always like watching people like Dave McCrae. He talks, he has live streams about horror movies and just any topic really, but usually has to do with Halloween or some other horror topic, and that's basically what I want to do here. So, something like that where just talk about any topic, and eventually it might turn into a live stream type of thing, but for now it's going to be like an audio thing. um See how it goes with that. And yeah, so first of all, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on with Friday the 13th lately. They have this whole Jason universe stuff and they've just been trolling us so hard, I think, but it's been interesting to watch. I did not like the reveal of the new Jason or whatever. And I am excited for the Crystal Lake TV series. I think that will be a lot of fun, but I just don't know exactly how they're going to pull it off, and I don't know exactly what they're trying to do. Obviously, we all want new movies, but I think the TV show will be interesting because I really like Pamela Voorhees. I think she's so much scarier than Jason, and she just is so freaky. And I'm a huge fan of the first movie, so I have no problem seeing more of her. And I think the casting of Linda Cardinelli, she's going to be perfect for Pamela Voorhees, I think. And I'm just so excited what they're going to do. But I do hope they have Jason in the series. But I guess we'll have to see because we just don't know yet. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Friday the 13th, the game. And there's just been so much crazy news and rumors and back and forth about that too. There's supposed to be a new game, but also people think that maybe they're going to resurrect the old game. And it's just confusing as can be. So we're gonna have to see what happens here. But yeah, Friday the 13th, that whole franchise is just a mess right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they will have a movie at some point, and I do think the series Crystal Lake is going to be pretty exciting. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I know that to me, a series is kind of like, you know, it's almost like a consolation prize from getting a movie, but you know, we'll take what we can get, and it's a totally new direction for the series, even though there was technically already a Friday the 13th TV show, which actually I've seen a few episodes of that. It's actually really good. It just has nothing to do with Jason and all that stuff, but honestly, it's quite a bit of fun, and I really enjoyed it. I need to finish it, but yeah, I went to Walmart recently, and they have some horror stuff like in the electronic section, and they have like a Friday the 13th mini backpack. And I didn't see one at the Walmart I usually go to, but I went to a different one and I saw it there. I was like, man, I got to pick that up. It's like a really nice dark green, I guess. backpack, and it has like Camp Crystal Lake on it. It has like Crystal Lake patch and a Friday 13th patch, and honestly, it's just so cool. It's like I had to buy it, so that's been fun. So I'm just a huge fan of Friday 13th. Gosh, I really want a new movie. The problem is like any new movie they have is going to be compared to the remake. I guess the 2009 Friday the 13th, and that movie is just so good. It's honestly one of the best in the franchise, if not the best. It's possible. Like it's crazy how they got so close to, in my mind, overcoming the all the '80s movies. I mean, it really is that good. Um, it's hard to believe, but I mean, it's not my favorite Jason. I kind of like when Jason is a little bit more clumsy and like I don't know, just not not necessarily dumb, but like a little bit dumb or goofy or something. I think the 2009 Jason was just like full on balls to the wall, hardcore Jason, and it was really cool to watch. I mean, it was scary, but it it lost a little bit of that fun to me. But I still love that movie. But yeah, it's I really wish the remake Jason would have been in the game. I don't know why it wasn't, but uh, that whole I wish all kinds of stuff from that movie was would have been in the game. But maybe they were going to eventually. I'm not sure. I just know that they wanted to put like Jason X maps and the Uber Jason in the game, but the remake one is what I really wanted. But also, while we're on that topic, I wish they would have had Pamela Voorhees as a killer in Friday the 13th the game. That's what I really want. But didn't happen. Didn't happen. I don't know if it would have, but I really wish it would have. But yeah, it's man, that game was just so much fun. I had so many memories with it. I played that thing to death, honestly. And I got probably a little bit too good at it. Like once you got too good, it became a little bit not that much fun. But I will say it's definitely one of the most replayable games of all time, and that's not even. I mean that's like an understatement. It might be the most replayable game of all time. Like it really never gets old as long as you have people that are trying to have fun and they're not cheating or whatever. But I still think even if people are being jerks and possibly cheating, it can still be kind of fun. I think you just have to go into each match with. I mean, you can have like your idea of what you want to get done, but you have to go in there and just see what happens. That's kind of the fun part of it. Like that's what makes it unpredictable. That's what makes it worth playing again. Is that you have no clue what's going to happen, and that's always so much fun. Like it was so fun near the end of the game. Uh, there was basically it was just a mixture of people that have been playing it forever and people that literally just downloaded it because they kept hearing that it was closing down. So like it was like their first time playing, and it just that extreme dichotomy. Like there was no middle ground with that, and so it created so many funny moments. But I really hope they bring it back in some way because I honestly like they when they talk about they want to make a new movie, I just sit here and think like or sorry, they want to make a new video game, a new Friday the 13th video game. I just don't know if they can top that. I really don't know. And honestly, I don't even know if any other horror movies can top that if they make a video game because Friday the 13th just has that atmosphere that is just next level. Like the whole campground and dark forest atmosphere. I just don't know if it can if it can be beat. I mean, I think the Halloween atmosphere would be really cool. Like let's just say they made the exact same game, but it was Halloween or Scream or something like that. I don't know if it would be as. I just don't know if it would be as awesome because there's something about just like wanting to spend time in nature, like like it just really scratches that itch, and it's just an endlessly replayable game. Honestly, it's so much fun, but yeah, it's just sad that like even after they've settled the lawsuit and everything, they still can't get under like the same direction and like the same goals. Nobody knows what's going on to the franchise still, and that's crazy to me. But yeah, we'll see. This last Friday the 13th here in June, I they were teasing there would be a big old release or a big old news drop of some sort, and all it was like NECA figures for the new Jason, which nobody likes anyway. So it's so strange. I just don't get that. Like, and then there's like a Halloween Horror Nights or something, but most people can't even go to that. So I don't know. I was definitely hoping for more, but at least the TV show is on the way. I think I just saw that they were starting filming, so that's gonna be pretty cool. And I'm just curious to see how that is. Are they going to? Is it going to feel like a TV show, or is it going to feel more like a movie? In that, that it's cinematic, or is it going to be kind of quick and high paced like a TV show? I don't know. Maybe it's going to be like a slow burn TV show. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm not like huge on TV shows, well, except Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I mean, those. That's the problem. Like every TV show has to live up to those. But yeah, I think that they're going to. I think it's going to be good. Honestly, I think it's going to be good. I'm not that worried about it. Like, even if it's bad, I don't think people are really going to view it in the same canon as the movies. I mean, I mean, not really. I don't think the TV show is going to be as big of a deal. But if it's good, it will be. So I think they might as well try it. So I just don't know how much they're going to get away with, like all the kills and all that stuff. But the most exciting thing for me is getting more of Pamela Voorhees. She's probably my favorite character in the whole series. Like in the whole franchise. That's kind of the only bad thing about the original movie, even though it's not necessarily its own fault, but you just didn't see her that much because, she was hidden or whatever to reveal at the end. And so I just wish I knew more about her. So this is supposedly what the series is going to bring. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I guess moving on, I mean, there's nothing new with Terrifier right now, but um, I was watching video the other day from Planet CHH, and he was talking about the first Terrifier movie and talking about how a lot of people might not view it as that good, but he was kind of saying if you go back and watch it, it's still pretty good. But I agreed. Like I think that movie is amazing. I think it's better than the second two. I mean, the only one close to breaking it maybe is Terrifier 3. I thought that was really fun. It was definitely an improvement to Terrifier 2 for me. I did not like certain aspects of Terrifier 2. I didn't like that they basically killed Art in a way. I mean, he obviously he came back, but I just didn't think that was a good idea. I don't. I mean, especially in the second movie. I mean, he barely got started. I mean, obviously he's back and everything now, but what made the first Terrifier so unique, because when I first saw that movie, I knew nothing about any of this stuff. I didn't know anything about Terrifier. I saw it before Terrifier 2, a little bit before that got super huge. And I literally just randomly saw it on Tubi. And I was like, oh man, that's an interesting clown. Like, let me see what's going on there. And I was just absolutely floored by how good it was and how dirty, nasty, grimy, and just absolutely brutal it was. There was no relief. It never let up. And the ending was so dark and bleak. And they lost that in a way with Terrifier 2. Although, yes, he does come back to life, but it's in a weird way, and you weren't really sure. Like at the time, you weren't really sure how he was going to come back. Like I don't know. I just thought it was weird. So I really enjoyed the ending of Terrifier 3, where he basically does not lose. He literally just kind of leaves the house and goes on his way for a while, and we'll see what happens in the next movie. But that was much more of a for me. It was just a much better ending. It was nice to see that he didn't lose. He didn't get his ass beat or anything. He was just doing his thing, and he decided, all right, this has been enough fun for today, and he just left. But yeah, like that whole ending sequence was just brutal. Whereas in the Terrifier 2 ending sequence, the final act, it was like Art was just getting beat up, and every time he had a chance to do damage to either what's her name, the sister, I can't remember her name right now. Anytime he had the opportunity to do damage to her or Jonathan, her brother, oh yeah, Sienna. Anytime he had damage to do, anytime he had a chance to do damage to any of them, he barely did anything. Like there's that one scene where he gets Jonathan on the ground. He's like about to cut him with the scalpel, and he doesn't even do anything. It's like, oh my goodness, fuck them up. it just it just was. I thought it was just a little bit anticlimactic, and I definitely didn't like the whole sword thing where she falls, like he kicks her into hell or whatever. She falls in that, you know, tank of water or something, and then all of a sudden there's like a magic sword, and she comes back to life, and like I think he did take that in a better direction in Terrifier 3, but it was still baffling in Terrifier 2. I just I'm not a fan of Terrifier 2 with the story stuff, but the actual movie itself is I still like it. I like all the kills and the effects and just all that stuff. It's great for that reason. The Terrifier 3 was a huge improvement for me. And I'm really excited to see what they do with Terrifier 4, especially since it's going to be supposedly the last movie that they do for now. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll reboot it at some point, but um, I still think Terrifier 1 is probably the best just because it's so unique. Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3 were almost the same movie. They were very, very similar in terms of pacing, storyline, just the overall template was very similar. But Terrifier 1 has this insane template that I honestly, most movies don't follow like that. I just really liked everything about that movie. I like that at the end you felt like, who the fuck is that clown, and why can't anyone stop him? That's what it felt like. You just had an overwhelming sense of dread, and you just don't know what hit you. It was insane, and so that the overall feel of that movie is great too. The claustrophobic is so claustrophobic, like you're stuck in this grimy, dirty building. There might be a couple other buildings, but it's basically doesn't change setting that much, and I think that really helps it. It was just such a claustrophobic movie. Like that's the worst place you want to be when there's a creepy clown chasing you, and they just captured that perfectly. So I'm excited for Terrifier. I'm so glad also that they've been releasing all the Terrifier movies so much, like on VHS, and I think I have all three of them on VHS. I need to get the All Hallows Eve VHS. I think that'd be perfect for that movie, but still trying to find that one. But you got like I feel like Terrifier is the perfect franchise for VHS. I mean, uh, I think Damien Leone had said in the like there's a little card in the that comes with the VHS, and he was saying that Terrifier, the original one at least, was made as a love letter to the VHS era of horror movies, and I felt that watching it, and so I had to get it on VHS, and I'm just so glad they're making that available. It's just I love when they do cool stuff like that that has no reason to exist, but it's just so cool, and so I had to get them, had to get them. So I wish they would have released like wish they'd release more horror movies on VHS, like more modern ones, because it's like a niche thing. Like they release a lot of horror soundtracks on vinyl and stuff. I don't know why they don't release more on VHS. I mean, you did have like an alien movie. I can't remember which one that was released on VHS, but I wish they would just do it more often because is it really for horror collectors? It's like it really is a novelty item, and I think people will just buy it up. They will buy it up no matter what horror movie it is, really. So hopefully that will become a bigger trend. But I'm glad they're doing with Terrifier at least, because if anything, that deserves to be on VHS. So, but yeah, I guess moving on here we have. But I guess let's talk about some music. So yeah, let me start with so my favorite bands. My top three favorite bands. My number one is set in stone, and that's the Ramones. They are just my favorite band of all time. I love every single album. I love, all. I just love everything they've ever done. They just have the perfect sound to me. Like that's just my favorite type of music. They're hugely inspired by the Beach Boys, and I'm a huge Beach Boys fan. But it also brings that hard rock edge. Yeah, I just love that old school rock and roll. I'm a huge fan of that stuff, and they just basically did that except harder and faster. So yeah, I was destined to love them. But my second and third favorite bands, they could they could change depending. Like there's two of them, but they could swap places. on any given day. But right now, I would say like how I'm feeling right now. My second favorite band would be the Smashing Pumpkins, and my third is Green Day. I love '90s. I love like my favorite decade of music is the '90s, and so I just love everything that comes from there, from that era. And the Smashing Pumpkins to me are like the definitive '90s band. That's just my opinion, but they just capture that era so well. And I guess one thing I like about them is that they have so many different styles and they can do them all seamlessly. I really enjoy that about them. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. My favorite album from them. The bottom line is their first. I mean, everything from Gish to the first Machina is absolutely perfect. And what's crazy is that the PC's Iscariot could be the best thing from that entire run. That's what's crazy. And that's not even an album. That's like a compilation album. But that might be my favorite thing of all that era. But I'm always torn. Like, I'm a huge Gish fan, so I'm always torn between all those albums. Like and I love Adore too. But I probably, as much as I love the album, and I love it so much, I just don't know if I could put it above Siamese Dream or Melancholy. I don't even know if I could put it above Gish. Like of that run of albums, it's probably my least favorite, but I love it to death. And the the thing is, what's crazy is that Machina One at least, that album is absolutely legendary as well. I just can't even believe. I literally cannot believe how good it is. Sometimes I feel like that's my favorite. So it, you cannot go wrong with anything from Gish to Machina. Machina Two, I like it, but it's not my favorite. To me, it's just not quite as good as Machina One. Although there are a couple songs on there that are. So I'm excited for them to have like to. They're supposed to be releasing the full Machina. I don't know if I'll be able to get it because it seems like it's going to be pretty exclusive, but at least they're reissuing the first Machina how it originally was released. So I definitely need to pick that up. But yeah, and then but I also think their most recent album, Agori Mori May, I honestly think that's the best thing they've done since Machina One. I loved that album, and I love basically everything that they've done. I mean, they're my second favorite band, but I think that I do think that they like I as much as I loved Sear and Autumn, I just don't think. I mean, as much as I love them, that's just not really what I want to hear from them all the time. And Agori Mori May was such a good return to form, and I do put it above Zeitgeist and Oceania or whatever, however you say it. Honestly, I think Oceania might be my least favorite album of theirs. And I like the sound of it, but the songs just are not there for me. But that's the thing is Juan, that album is amazing too. I wonder where I would put that. It would be a little bit less than Machina, but probably less than Agori Mori May. But other than those two, that's the best thing they've done in a long time too. Or that's the best thing Billy Corgan's done. I love Swan. That album is just amazing. But yeah, it's and then with Green Day, they've been one of my favorite bands for a long time. My favorite album from them is Nimrod, and it's really not even close. Well, it is close with American Idiot, and I love American Idiot, but the thing is, like, Nimrod is so fresh to me because with American Idiot, I literally know every note from front to back, and so I think Nimrod it has so many more songs, and it's so varied that it feels like it just feels fresh every time you listen to it, and I just love the style on it the most. Just the whole era of Green Day with the old school pictures and like the black and white pictures and all that. It's just perfect. I love it. But American Idiot is probably a close second. But I love all their most recent stuff too. I mean, well, I will say it's kind of crazy to say, but I think I would put Saviors as my least favorite album from them. Although I love some of the songs on there, like 1981. That's one of my favorite Green Day songs of all time. And I love Dilemma, but I just think the rest of it is not that good. Now or it's not it's Green Day, so they don't write bad songs. but it's just not that exciting to me. Like I love Revolution Radio way more than Saviors. I love Father of All more than Saviors. So that's just how I feel about it. But I was so lucky last year. I got to go see the Saviors tour, I guess. Um, and I got to see two of my top three favorite bands at the exact same time because the Smashing Pumpkins were opening for Green Day. And that was just so much fun. And the Linda Lindas opened, and then Rancid. So I got to see some really cool bands. Like I'm just so glad I got to go to that concert. And also last year I got to see Jane's Addiction. Right, like it was just a few concerts before they had a big fight and canceled the rest of the tour. So I was so thankful for that because they might not ever tour again. So I think they will. I mean, rock bands they have fights all the time. It's literally nothing new. So but yeah, it was so much fun. Last year was just an amazing time to go to concerts for me. I just killed it in the concert game. But yeah, lately I've been listening to Rob Zombie. I love him so much. I love White Zombie. I mean, let's just face it, Los Exorcisto is the best metal album of all time. And I mean, I literally cannot think of any album that is better than it. I mean, I probably Slayer Show No Mercy is way up there, and Rain and Blood. But man, Los Exorcisto is just perfect. And I'm a huge White Zombie fan. Huge. Um, I like Rob Zombie's solo stuff, but mainly just the first two albums. Other than that, like after that, it's hit or miss. But and I don't really know why, but those first two albums, Hellbilly Deluxe, and Sinister Urge, they are so good. Gosh, it's insane. They are almost as good as the White Zombie stuff. Um, and I'm always torn like which one is my favorite between those two. I really don't know sometimes. But yeah, I just got an original first press of the Sinister Urge, and it's funny because I actually already have a copy of it, but I saw this other copy come up for sale, and for the price I got it at, I just could not turn it down. I literally could not. So now I have two first press copies of the Sinister Urge, but I'm not complaining about that because I love that album. Um, I also have it on cassette and CD, so it's like, how many times am I gonna buy this album? But I just love it so much, and I finally got Hellbilly Deluxe on vinyl recently, and I just feel like that's an album I had to have on vinyl. But yeah, that's the thing with the Sinister Urge. It might top Hellbilly Deluxe for me because of Feel So Numb and oh, what's the other song? Uh the one about it's basically uh what is it? The Red Groovy or something. It's basically like a Clockwork Orange theme song. Man, what is it called? Anyway, uh, love that song. Oh, I think it's Never Gonna Stop. Yeah, or something like that. Gosh, why can't I remember it? Well, it's because I thought the song was called Durango or something, but it's not. So anyway, yeah, I think it's Never Gonna Stop Me or Never Gonna Stop Me. I think I don't know why I can't remember it, but to me, those two songs are just as good, if not better, than anything on Hellbilly Deluxe. I mean, Dragula is like a perfect song, perfect Rob Zombie song. I love it. I absolutely love it. But the underrated songs on that album are definitely Meet the Creeper and Living Dead Girl. It's so stacked. That album, those first two albums are so stacked. There are no bad songs. I absolutely love it. And just that horror movie atmosphere, like that's just what I love. I do think White Zombie is still better, especially Los Exorcism. It captures that horror movie atmosphere a little bit better, but at least Rob Zombie came close on his first two albums. So, but yeah, I've been listening to that a lot lately. I heard they're gonna release Hellbilly Deluxe on a glow in the dark vinyl, so I need to order that. But I think it releases later this year. But I definitely have to get that because one of my holy grails is the Los Exorcisto glow in the dark vinyl. I have no idea when I'm gonna get one, but I'm gonna have to get one at some point. So it's just cool that they were doing that stuff back in the '90s. Honestly, gotta get one. I do have the uh, blue version of Astro Creep, so that's one of my favorite records that I have. That's probably one of the most valuable ones I have too. So I was pretty lucky to get that. But yeah, I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. I love that's the thing. I love even the remix albums that he has, like American Made Music to Strip By and Super Sexy Swingin' Sounds or whatever. Well, that was White Zombie, but his remix albums are just as good as the regular albums. It's insane. Uh, Man, I'm just a huge fan of him. So I'm just excited what he does next. But yeah, it's other than that, I've just been listening to. I've been getting into the Misfits as well. I'm surprised it has taken me this long to get into them. Uh, but man, I had no idea. I just didn't know that much about them, honestly. But once I started listening, I was like, wow, this is exactly like my type of music. I love the Ramones. They sound super similar to the Ramones, but they have more of a horror theme. But they sound like old doo wop, but in a punk style, talking about horror movies. It's awesome, especially the song "Last Caress." Like I've been listening to that on repeat. So I'm glad that I'm fully in and I'm ready to go and listen to all the Glenn Danzig stuff and everything. I just didn't know that much about him somehow, but I'm glad I do now. Like, it's never too late, right? But yeah, it's and also I guess talking about movies that I've watched recently. Um, I I really liked watching Creepshow and Creepshow 2. I hadn't seen those before. Creepshow was I didn't know if I was gonna like the anthology aspect to it, but honestly, I thought they were just so much fun. Like each little story was just so much fun and so interesting and had so much style to it. I was not expecting that, and especially the one with Stephen King. Like Stephen King did such a good job acting in that movie. It was just so much fun to watch. It was super charming. And the second Creep Show was pretty good too. It didn't have quite as it wasn't quite as good, but some of the shorts in there or whatever you call them, like some of the parts were really clever, really interesting, and pretty scary. I mean, it wasn't super scary, but that's the thing. It could have been better, but honestly, I just thought it was a lot of fun. So I need to go and watch all the other Creep Show stuff. It just seems like a fun franchise for me. Um, I also started watching the Psycho movies. Like, well, I had already seen Psycho a long time ago, but I for some reason I just never felt the need to go watch the sequels like Psycho 2 and Psycho 3. But I finally went and watched those, and I fell in love with Psycho 2. I absolutely love that movie. That's one of the best horror sequels ever, in my opinion. And Psycho 3, I was a little bit disappointed at first, like the first half of the movie, maybe. It just it just wasn't quite as good as Psycho 2. But once you got to like the second half, the third act especially, it was just as good as Psycho 2. I feel like those movies, that whole franchise is so underrated because I mean, obviously the first movie is pretty highly rated, but the second and third movies, at least, those are the only ones I've seen yet. I need to watch everything else, but they are so creepy and freaky. Like it, I absolutely love it. It's some of my favorite horror movie, favorite stuff I've ever seen in horror movies, and you could just see how big of an influence they had on Friday the 13th. So it's just so awesome to watch that. Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to get a copy of them. Gosh, love those movies. I really fell in love with them. Um, and then also I started watching Peeping Tom, which is I guess people say is kind of like a proto slasher movie. Uh, but I only got through like half of it. But I really enjoyed it actually. It was super interesting. It kind of had that psycho feel to it in a way, and so I'm excited to watch the end of that or finish it up. But yeah, I'm trying to watch. Oh yeah, and I also have went and watched the original Frankenstein finally. Like you always hear about these old movies, but you feel like you hear about it so much you don't feel the need to go and watch them. But I went and watched the original Frankenstein movie, and that was so much fun. I really loved that. And then I watched the original Nosferatu, and that was awesome too. I didn't think I was gonna like a silent movie, but it was super like it was. I did not get bored at all. It was really fun to watch. I was surprised by that, and I was surprised in a way that I was able to follow the story so easily and effortlessly. It was just super intriguing, and just the cinematography was just amazing. I mean, seriously, like those movies are classics for a reason, and I'm just so glad that I finally watched them now. I think a lot of old movies are easy to just skip because you feel like you've basically already seen it through osmosis. So I'm glad I went back and watched them, and I need to watch them again too. And just man, I love those old horror movies. I love White Zombie too. That's obviously a really good movie. I had to go and watch that just so I can understand why they named the band White Zombie, and I'm glad they did. It's such an awesome movie. But yeah, it's. I also watched Carnival of Souls. That was a really good movie. I was surprised, but that was really entertaining. It was like a long Twilight Zone episode. That's what it felt like to me. But I love the Twilight Zone too. I'm trying to make my way through that whole series. So yeah, so that's what I've been watching lately. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm just excited, and yeah, I'm it's just one of those things like I need to continue watching all like try like make you have to make an effort sometimes to watch the movies that you hear about but just never go and watch. Like I feel like with streaming nowadays, like you get on there and you don't like they only show you the certain movies that everyone else is watching or whatever. It's really hard to dig deeper. And so you really do have to make an effort. And so I'm trying to do that. But it's been super fun. I love seeing all these old movies, but and new ones too. There's a lot of new ones I need to see as well. But yeah, it's been fun. So anyway, thanks for listening to this first episode of Horror Show Radio. I'm excited to continue this show on and see what happens with it. I'm glad to be back on YouTube. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while, but my main goal with this is just to give people something to chill and listen to. That's what I needed at certain times in my life, like just videos I could put on and talk about fun stuff and just sit and relax and listen to it and take my mind off of everything going on. So that's my goal with this, and I hope that I can do that for you guys. And yeah, just thank you for watching. And until next time, have a good one.